right hand, you can see there's a slight difference. You've got a 7-inch pad each, and it's not like, have you ever saw WAL wall? WL, those ones had a 9-inch pad, which is a bit unusual. So it's not a big area.
Yeah.
It's very small, and if you're with someone in a pub, you can get them nearer to you. It's a lot easier to beat them. This one, you kind of, especially if you're short, it's a problem. You know, you're kind of not very tall, so it's sort of, it's about trying to get the guy onto your side.
Yeah.
And the number one rule: treat a person as you would a very heavy weight, with respect, because you can injure yourself.
Yeah.
I've seen injuries over the years; they're not common. You see, because of the internet, you see the worst ones, but actually they don't happen very often. And it's usually the person who, most often, it's the person whose arm is broken who does the main movement.
Yeah.
It's very unusual for. It happens, but even rarer. Very unusual for your opponent to break your arm.
Yeah.
So the reason being, it's isometrics. So if in kickboxing you have this. That's the perfect posture for arm wrestling. You want to keep your cage, okay? So your power is within this square, square of influence. So if you go outside your square of influence, you can't put as much power, and you're putting torque and you're putting spiral pressure on your own arm and on your bone. And I've seen injuries mostly on down here, sometimes up here. The most spectacular injuries are usually on the bone up here, and unfortunately in the elbow. They're very difficult to deal with. The first match I ever saw live was Michael Todd getting his arm broken by Wagner Bortolato in 2010, and me and my brother were sat there eating our lunch, and oh my god, you know, so we were no distance from them. You could almost hear his arm. And so that was an introduction, but he deliberately went in on this guy, and this guy just ran away with him. That was one of the rare examples of me. It was probably the only example I've ever seen of a guy breaking the other guy's arm. It's usually the other way around. Usually, I recommend you look at 1995 in the heats of the World's Strongest Man competition. There was Nathan Jones got his arm broken against Magnus Samuelsson. Now, Samuelsson had a lot of experience. He was a European champion, even though he was beaten by a lot of people back in those days. But he was a very strong guy. He just hung on Nathan, and Nathan was like this, and his arm just went. You know? And so it's sort of I don't watch things like that deliberately. I've seen it enough. But it's very interesting because you get a thing called bone line.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Yes, so anything outside your square of influence is dangerous to you. You can go outside of it if you've trained it enough.
Yes.
So literally, you don't know what genetic strengths you have in here. The best people for this kind of thing tend to be people who just do arm wrestling and don't do a lot of the other stuff. I'd say a lot of the best arm wrestlers, the safest arm wrestlers, are the people who do other stuff as well, because they tend to kind of do the linear weights. Having said that, someone is going to take you off this. People are going to take you into difficult situations.
Of course, yeah.
And so, imagine literally you've got a weight. You put, let's say, a kettlebell on the table. How are you going to drag that with one arm? You don't do this.
Yeah.
You certainly don't do that. You go to it and you drag it along.
Yeah.
Your opponent is that kettlebell, okay? You have to treat them like a dangerous weight that you could potentially do all sorts of things if you don't get yourself close to it. So just think of that. And actually, I'll tell you what, kickboxing, and actually the best one, I would say, other than rock climbing, the best arm wrestlers come from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because they're so good at the cupping power and controlling their opponent. And this is everything. I would suppose in your thing in martial arts, think about shadow boxing. So very much about knowledge of your own frame. So let's see where you go. So firstly, what we'll do, we've got 3 elements here that your opponent is trying to open up, and you're trying to open up as well. And you also include the hand as well. So you've got the wrist and the elbow. And side pressure is the most dangerous thing. So what we tend to do is we'll warm up this, then we'll warm up that, and then warm up that. So if I move your wrist, you're going to do the same to me. So you want to feel it in your forearm, and the idea is that those muscles are pulling on those tendons, and you know, any clicking will be reduced just through doing that. We're just trying to. I don't like warming up, you know. I don't, because I'm a lifter. I tend to pump up too quickly, and I get terrible. I'm really not a fit guy. But, a lot of most people will warm up. I would recommend you always do it. It's not something that you do in weightlifting or something like that. Usually, I'd recommend you go for the specific movement first. But we do it in here. So, do you know about pronation and supination?
No.
Okay, so pronation is on the out. It's called the outside move.
Okay.
And that is when you pronate your hand, and you can pronate on the outside. Supination is on the inside, and you can use this for all sorts. You can use it to defend. You can use this to attack, and you can use it to turn someone in so that you can, you know. So if you learn the terms of pronation and supination, very, very useful. And you're going to fully supinate. So you're going to twist your hand up. We're going to make some nice circles on that pad. So the idea here is I push that way and you resist, and then you push that way, right? Yeah. And you want to feel it here. So this is another place that can get injured. So we're just getting a bit of blood into it, and it just means that if you know, you're less likely to get those tendinitis and other pains. You're going to get pains if you've not arm wrestled before. Sorry to say, you're going to feel it. You'll feel it more the day after. Maybe 48 hours is the worst. Now the other thing is this. Now your rotator cuff and your deltoid. So what I'm going to teach you is the posture. So good arm wrestling posture. You want to keep contact with the table if possible, and it's about using your legs to get under the table so you can shorten the distance to your arm. So remember, if you were trying to get close to something without literally jumping onto the table, so you're going to be keeping contact between your hips and the front of the table there, and you're going to be thinking about your back is. Imagine this is your back. In arm wrestling, you want it to be moving that way, as opposed to moving in the opposite direction. So if you're arm wrestling something, do an impression of what you would do, in your opinion, to take someone to the pad.
I think
it's all right. I would say you need to do this. So you don't mind if I just briefly. So what for early on, you can go to square things later on. Early on, to get your power on and to be safe, I would this shape here needs to come in this direction when you're beating the other person.
I see.
The idea being that you're always facing away from your opponent.
So like this.
Sorry, you're always facing your opponent. And you turn more and more. The more you go that way, the more you face your opponent. That way, if they take your arm, it just opens. It's never going to get broken like that. And also, you can pour more power in that position.
I see.
If you're going away, so if you take me to the pad, go. You see your elbows running. Your body's going ahead of your elbow. So you just can't put as much power, and your elbow gets kind of stuck out there. You know? So it's better just to stay with your arm, and then if you get stuck, you've got something to do with it to take them the other way.
I see.
So there's the outside game and the inside game. This is why it's worth watching the video. So the main outside game are two types of top roll. So there's a thing called the high top roll, which is what they tend to give strong men and people who don't have as much flexibility. So it's literally that.
I see.
That's the high top roll. It's the old-fashioned top roll, and that's very much about fingertips, wrist strength, bit of side pressure. You don't have to do a lot of side pressure on your own arm. If you bring your shoulder forward, you can be pulling back on the other guy. But the other top roll, which is the more popular one, is called a dragging top roll. And there's several positions. You can have a high position for a dragging top roll over in this direction. See why it's called dragging, because I'm making a little moon shape on the pad. And the other one is when you hook in. It's a forward top roll from that position. So it's still a dragging top roll. The elbows may be a little tighter over, but it's again you're trying to get into the other guy and then open him up to the pad. And generally, the taller you are, the better in these things. You know, if you are short and you get the other guy to your side, it's great because you can actually bleed him out a bit. It doesn't mean you've got more power in arm wrestling. There's some good short guys, you know, but I mean the shorter guys. I mean, goodness, you know, you've got people like Babayev, who he looks really short compared to everyone else. I've arm wrestled him; he's huge. So it's like, you know, it's all relative. You know, these guys are massive. You know,
Yeah.
but guys in our club are massive. We've got some big guys. You know, there's a guy who's 7 foot who occasionally trains with us. So I miss him, by the way. David, please come back. We miss you. Anyway, David Sands, he's a lovely guy, really good actually. He's just, you know, when people are just starting to get really good,
Yeah.
and I want them to carry on training, because he was starting to get some really good shapes, and it's like, yes, you know, it's really nice. But you know, people are busy, people have families.
Yeah.
You know, it's like me. This is my lunch break. You know, I've got lots. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, so top roll. So let's see if you can do it. So try and get tight to the table. Always start touching the table.
Yeah.
And the best way to stop going off your bone line is to start with your body a bit further over. Solved.
Yeah.
And then just all you're going to do is lean your body over.
Yeah.
Yep. So go. Nice. Try and go in this direction.
More.
Yes, towards you. Every single inch you gain is stronger.
Of course.
So you could be way weak in the other guy and still fashion, you know, potentially. So you're going to keep high. You always start over the middle here. So you're going to go all the way over. Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it. Nice. Try to do it with your body. So remember that shadow boxing? You're trying to use your shoulders rather than just your arm.
I see.
Because what will happen is, if you just use your arm, the other guy can run away from you, and then you go, oh, I can't do anything. You know? Whereas if you've got your body and you're doing that, you're already able to catch it. You can pull all that power. All that time you put in you know, kickboxing is not wasted. Believe me, all that strength is there. Yeah. So go. Nice. That's called a high hook. I'll tell you about high hook in a minute, but if I can get you high hooking, that'll be good. Because this is really strong. Not a lot of people do high hook. So you want to open me up in this direction.
I see.
Yeah. So commit to one. You either go out here using your wrist, and you're going to be using dragging top rolls a bit technical because you have to go around your own forearm.
Yeah.
Whereas a traditional top roll, you can just imagine you can balance a mug on your hand. This is look at Neil Pickup, people like that. They're using a thing called back pressure to control the other guy and then take him that way. And then if you look at you're opening your opponent in that direction, which is, it's a lot easier to beat your opponent there, which is why high hook is good than there. Because if you just take their hand, they can just sort of hold you off.
I see.
So it's nice if you can take the middle ground. So look at I'm your enemy. So you want to, I mean we're all friends, but you want to sort of go somewhere through this direction and then over.
Yeah.
Over. Yeah, so go for it. Keep it on your elbow. Okay. Nice, good strong wrist. Go all the way to the pad. Go.
Yeah.
All the way over. Nice. Try not to push out at the end. It means that you're running out of room, and that's only because your body's getting further away. I can see you're running away from your own arm. Just keep tight. Try and imagine if you let go of my hand, you fall over. That means you're doing something right. As it stands, you're all stable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But how should I?
So just like I said, imagine this is your spine.
Yeah.
You start there.
Yeah.
Your spine should end up over there. At the moment, your spine's ending up over there.
I think what I feel when I'm near to here, I'm feeling like there is no way for me to go more.
There is, and if you
what
fall
do I
back,
do? I just turn this my left shoulder, or
I'll show you what I do. So literally.
Yeah. I see.
So my hips
you
come
go,
up in.
you go
I
down
go this way.
Yeah.
So this. You have to turn, and what happens is all that power that you've built up in.
Instead of giving my pressure, I need to pull and turn. I see. I got it.
You can pull more weight.
Yeah.
You can get monstrously strong. In fact, a lot of these guys who have already been doing sport like you already have enough strength. Almost. It's just about connecting those strengths.
Yeah.
And the more you can turn onto your frame, the more you can connect to that power.
I see.
Yeah. So go for it. Turn. Ah, that's better. Looking better.
Yeah.
Get those hips up into the table.
Yeah.
Go. That's beautiful. Nice.
Yeah.
You're dropping a little. Keep a little bit up. So don't drop as early. So try to follow your arm down. If you drop too early, well, again, you disconnect from your power.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Okay. You're a good listener, I'd say. Very good. Yeah, you're running out of room again, just because your torso's.
Yeah.
You stop here and then you're afraid to keep moving.
Yeah.
So, which is it's fine. It's a bit of alien to you. Yeah. That forearm's got some strength in it. It's really good. Yeah, go. So you're going to need to start touching the pad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if I put any pressure on. That's okay. Yeah. Again, you're very low. You're doing this.
I see.
So try and best way to stop that from happening. Use your legs. You've got to get your legs up into the table. So it's even. You imagine it's even harder for me because I'm short.
Yeah.
A lot of guys, shorter guys, they'll use a thing called a riser, which is they'll literally stand on the platform, and I used to. Until I had chest surgery, I used to rely on that because I had a thing called a hook and drag, where you have to be up on it. Now I don't bother because I'm a high hook and top roll person. The idea is that you're so yes. So basically, I'm using my right leg if it's a right hand match. If I'm attacking, to straighten out and to get my hip up into the table, and this leg, your other leg bends to get you under the table. So your other leg's working to get you around the table. So if you look at my legs, so literally that leg's straight.
Yeah.
If I was taller, it'd be great. I could push into the floor. Legally, I only need to keep one leg on the floor, to be legal. And the other leg's basically helping me to get under the table, so I can drag the other guy,
I see.
And because that's so tight, you imagine you can pull a lot of weight. Imagine you've got a rope on your arm, you're just dragging the other guy. You can really pull a lot of power through it. Hence, that guy, I don't know if you saw the video of me last weekend, but there's a very big strongman guy who was a lovely guy with the Essex group. And he's got easily enough power to make me look like a mouse. He's just not connecting everything yet. So a little bit more experience from him and he'll be really great. But because of that lack of experience, I'm able to manipulate that and beat him. And it shows a lot about where technique can trump power, because he was literally the 5th strongest man in Britain at one point. So I've even Paul Savage I've beaten in arm wrestling before, and he was a famous powerlifter. He was the 2nd man in Britain ever to close the Captain's Crush #4, and yet a bit of lessons, and I couldn't touch him anymore. So it's a lovely thing. So I do talk a lot.
It's alright.
Yeah, so keep up on that, nice and far forwards, and you're going to literally bring that left leg under the table as you turn towards this pad. Yeah, so go. It's looking really strong. You feel, again, you need to keep those hips up.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah. Nice. So if I was to react at all, let's see where your arm goes.
Yeah.
So effort. So you're opening up in that. Again, I don't want to have any sideways movement. I heard a little click as well. So again, if you're over here, you're not going to click at all. Really good. You'll notice top rollers, they tend to keep their arm up here.
Yeah.
Gives them room.
Yeah.
They've got somewhere to attack. Down here, it's like, where are you going to go? So
this is where I'm stuck in because.
These things you can practice even on your own. You can almost. It sounds so sad. I've told people this before. I used to have a garage, and I had my table there, and I used to, in the dark before turning on the light, I'd practice my moves, before matches, because I didn't want to miss an angle. So I'd just stand there in the dark practicing. It's getting stuck there. Make sure I get shapes right. So I don't know. It might help you with your kickboxing. A bit of knowledge of your own frame. Yep. Nice. I've got a natural angle on your hand there, so as you go over, I won't put too much pressure on to go.
Yeah.
So if you look at the hand, when you're down there, all I have to do is turn your hand in that direction and open you up.
Yeah.
But if you were over here, I've got nowhere to go. You're maintaining your hand. There, I've got something to bite. Whereas if your hand's there, it's harder for me to beat your hand. So it's you need to aim your hand in the direction as you go. Where it's hard for your opponent to attack it. Too much to
go like this.
Yeah. Well, it means you always carry on with your wrist. But it means that now to beat your hand in that direction, I've got to go all the way around there, all the way over there. Whereas if you were over there, it's a very easy thing. So it's sort of let's just go practice a few movements then. Yeah. Right, so you're pushing from the middle. You lead from the fingers.
I see.
Yeah, lead from the fingers. Right. Yeah. Try not to finish it at the end of your wrist. I'll show you ways of getting that last little bit in.
I see.
Good. That's it. Stop. Perfect. Get good at one thing, and then we're going to show you how to. You don't finish out like that. You never go to negative. You actually go even more, and then if you run out of space, you regain it, and then top roll out of that, or you can press it or hook it. So you never. Once you go forward, you never come back. In arm wrestling, if you have to come back, your wrist doesn't. Your hand keeps pinning down on your opponent. So if I'm top rolling a guy and he's really strong, I've got the room there, bring it back before finishing it, or bring it back before pressing. You always try not to undo anything you've started. So that's why you don't finish off like that. Maybe sometimes like that, but you don't go to the negative because the other guy can then he's got a way out. You've given him a way out. So, sort of a get out of jail free card. Yeah, go for it. Watch that shoulder. You've kind of flattened out there. You see that? Nice and easy to. So remember this wrist power, cupping and wrist. So that or stationary. That or stationary. They're all good in combinations, but you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. So I'm going to bring you over there. Yeah. Run out of room there. Stop. Don't push. You're pushing with your forearm. That's going to hurt your arm. So just sort of. It's really annoying when a guy beats me who's like just really technical because he's just slick. But then I'm not doing my job if I can't stop him. But he's not having to use his muscles like you're doing. What you're doing is you're trying to power me sideways, but that basically puts you in tension. So all I have to do is boop, and you've opened up. Because imagine you're already holding the weight. It's your own thing. All the other guys do is go boop, and then you're already redlining. Whereas if you're nice and loose and you're basically you're tight here, but you're basically all the power's going into rotation, and it means if the guy runs away with you, you've still got these as well. You've got your guns. Curling is to do with defence mostly in arm wrestling. You'll find out about that. So again, just literally go as if you would like this, tight to the table, square. The ref will always bring this shoulder forwards as well, by the way. So the ref will make sure you're square. And then you want to turn. Turn on your opponent. Good. Turn. Looking good. And you're going to watch this. So watch your hand. You're going to go down, up. Down, up. Down, up. And as you're doing that, this shoulder's on here, and you're going to be coming around that. Imagine this is like a crowbar, so this is a lever around your elbow. So you're using your elbow as literally a lever. So it's good stuff. So your first name is Turkish, is it? Or?
Ilker.
Oh, cool. Well, they know about levers. They know about great architecture and things like that. So again, you're going to be doing this. You're going to be beating and this can beat me, and that can beat me. But ideally, that is you don't want to just do that. So imagine you're trying to put a pen in your top pocket. It's probably a good little hint.
So basically, I need to try doing this, and then I'll.
over. Yes.
I see.
Yep. Nice, good rest. Again, you ran out of room. You got so far,
Yeah.
and the reason you wanted to push out is because your body was just stood there on top. If you, the rest can be done just with your body. So you get there and your body will do it. So just go ahead with your arm.
Yeah.
Drop down. No, with your body. So literally just fall. So imagine that. Imagine you've been speared in the middle by a harpoon gun and you're attached to the table. Imagine your hip there is physically can't come away from the table. Your body's going to be pulling it down. So this. So what you're doing is you're doing this.
Yeah.
Which isn't great because I'll get beaten at them.
Yeah.
But what I want to do is I want to pull my opponent this way, and it's using my back, using my legs, using my body.
Yeah.
You know, and that last bit is not going to be done by your arm alone. You need your body to make that difference.
I see.
Yeah, without that body movement, you're going to run out of space. So whether you like it or not, I know it feels weird because you feel like you're going to fall over. That's good. Because if you let go and you fall over, it means you're doing something right. If you let go and you're still stood there, it means there's something else you can give, you know. Yeah, so up, nice and tight up over the middle. Yep, so go, and you're going to fall over, fall backwards. Better, but you're facing that way.
I see. I need to turn as well. Yeah.
And get those hips up into the table. Another reason why it's easier for tall people.
Like this?
Yeah, perfect. If you're tall, you can physically push your leg off the ground to like this.
Yeah.
So if you're short like me, I have to kind of get my leg up in the air, you know. so that's exactly perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So turn. That's better. Then if I go for you, all that's going to happen is your arm opens. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're running out of room on the pad,
I felt it now. When you try to go,
power.
and then I feel my shoulder and all my power. Yeah.
Good, because you're strong enough to, probably strong enough to beat me. You never know. There's
Not yet.
You see, there's a lot of guys who I feel it in them. So turn. I mean turn.
Yeah.
Like like your life depends on it. Like the back is more important than your arm if you've got a good arm shape anyway.
Yeah.
You're starting with no problem up here. All the problems down there.
Yeah.
So turn really over. Yeah, then get up on that arm. Your body's, you're almost going to kneel on the floor there. So there's some guys who do that all the time. Adam Kask, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Sorry, Adam, if you're listening. He had a habit of going straight into King's Move, Logotar, go down here, and it's great. It's good at stopping the guy, but then how's he going to beat the guy? So he's like, it stops him from being pinned, but it's like, well, he's got to come up at some point. But if you're already up, it's not a problem, because then the other, potentially you're already on the attack. If the other guy's going for you, you're following him with your frame like this, and you've got something to attack back with because it's just this square, it's this square of power. Yeah. So get up on your toes, get up on it, that's it. And you're going to be high, body's high, and as you turn over, create height so you've got something to fall from. If you're down here, there's nothing to, so you want to create this height to your feet and to your hips.
I see. And let me try.
Yeah, turn on it, nice, and you're going to pull over. Or you're pushing, no, your shoulders, that's all right, you're getting there. So let's show the high hook, which you were already probably really good at. So I'll show you a high hook. So high hook, so we start in the middle there. So if I hook into you, that's it, a supinating. All I need to do is turn you over there. So potentially, as a shorter guy, I can just, that's all high hook. And there's a Canadian team called the High Hookers. And Devon Larratt is the head of that team. If you ever wonder what a high hook is, this is what a high hook is. It's called high because your hand is upright, your arm is upright. It's not because it's like some crazy thing. But in order to get a high hook and not just to lose it into side pressure, you've got to get the other guy to you in order to turn him over. And you can take giants down sometimes. If they're wise to it, they can angle their that strong wrist of theirs and just pull you over, and then you can't get into their wrist.
Yeah.
This is over here, very difficult.
Yeah.
So it's you can catch the other guy out if you can wind him in. Okay. With a high hook, it's not as technical as the top roll, so that's a good thing. And you notice with a high hook, you don't have to use your body as much. But you because you're right onto the top of your arm, you can literally angle down, and it's much straighter body position. It's a little easier. If someone runs away from you in a high hook, provided you're supinating enough, you can just hold them on your biceps so they run away, and you've got to hold them off like this. If they do run away from you, to stop them from peeling you open like a banana, you have to follow them in this direction, so that you've got a chance of either coming out in a top roll or coming out sideways, or even just hooking back. So it gives you a lot of options. So those are two inside. I'll show you hook and drag. I don't do hook and drag anymore. My hook and drag is this. So the reason I don't do hook and drag, I've got no nerves here. So I've got 3 nerves removed. So I have the power, but I can't feel it. So it just, I'm not as, I used to be able to beat a lot of people like that. So, it's not very popular these days. It used to be very popular back in the sort of 80s and 90s. The hook and drag, a lot of people don't like this, having to go so far in and then drag off with their own arm like this, because it's putting side pressure on your own arm. But I used to swear by it. I used to be very good at it. But high hook's good because you can sort of get the guy on your side, very simple, and then you're just trying to get over his wrist. So you're trying to turn him over. So this is quite helpful in arm wrestling, the fact that you've got the other guy's thumb, so when you turn over, you can see you're forcing his own hand open. Very, so my hooks looks very similar to sort of a dragging top roll. It's just in that direction. You get a lot behind it, So I would say probably most people would start on top roll, safety wise, Okay, so see if you can make an effort. If you feel like there's anything's under torsion, a bit dodgy, just don't do it. And it's usually because you're offline. So, so I'm just gonna. Sorry, I warn you. I'm just gonna sort of resist a little bit. If that's okay. So, go. Okay, so it's this shape. You can take me over. Oh, nice. See, that is really good. That movement, tight, keeping it tight, you just need to take me over, because you see what's happened is you had. Oh, sorry. So you had as I was just holding in one position. That is a very strong position for me. But if you were to take me over here, it's not so strong. So again, you've got all the shape you need. That's nice. You just ran away with it. Everything looked good. It's just this whole. Everything's at your shoulders. Your shoulders have a habit of running away in this direction. So it's a little bit worrying.
Just try to hold me. So, and then. So basically, like this, should I go or?
Nicer, nice. And then you got to open it.
Just really my shoulder like this. And I just need to open here as well.
That's nice. Go all the way down. See if we can hit that out. Oh, I don't like this shape. That scares me.
Is it open?
Yeah, your arm's coming up like a chicken. It's just that's a really nasty for your bone. It just, you might have strong bones, you might not. You can never tell until. So just try not to push down on your own arm like that. Try to pull through your elbow. Pull through your elbow rather than push through your elbow. Yes. Nice. Stop. That's good. That little bit was perfect, and then you kind of opened out. So good. orbits, and it'll make life a lot easier for you if you get your elbow over a little bit.
Cool.
Good. And then you can, that's it, better. So you just run it, stop. Just run it out of the room. As you get more used to it, that pad will feel bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Because at the moment it feels like it's this big.
Yeah.
As you run out of the room. But as you get more fluid, every little thing you do with your shoulders and your back will gain space on here. So you're already at the back of the pad.
Yeah.
So if I'm here, I can be almost on the floor before I'm running out of pad. Yep. Nice. Nice, that's good. Okay, shall we try a bit of left?
Yeah.
My left is rubbish at the moment, but at least we'll get you some good shapes. Probably won't have time to go over everything today. We've got some good guys in the club who are very vocal about technique as well, so they'll be able to, and they're a bit more realistic time-wise. So, I'm a stupid little, that little left arm is just a stupid length. So I'd like to be up here to teach you properly, but instead of down there, so it's a little bit funny. And also I've got a slight disabled left arm. So let's get some good shapes. You're already, so it's nice and straight. Just go to the table like this, so just like this, nice and straight. Nice. And if you're in doubt, you can round your shoulders a bit, or tighten up across here. Just helps you feel that shape. Okay, good. So, cut. Good. So go for it. You feel weakness on the wrist, yeah. Yeah, good, good. Nice, good. You're still aiming that way a little bit, so if I go.
Do I need to do like this?
Yeah. Good. Oh, that's much better. Yeah. Good. On the left, the only way I beat people, other than when I'm fully rested, is right. But what I basically tighten up.
Yeah.
So basically, I have to take their thumb, and then now I've got the angle to beat them.
I see.
So because you've got the turn on me, so I don't have it's not that I don't have power. I physically don't have the movement. I can't pull my wrist up. That's as high as I can put my hand.
Yeah.
So disability, I can put my hand sideways. So I physically can't push you that way.
Yeah.
But if I get on top of you, then I can do it. So in other words, it's about getting into a position where, and you'll get into positions where you're out of a position you want to be in, and you can force your opponent into so that you're on top of him. So for instance, from this angle, so we go. See, if I can keep on top of you, I've got half a chance of top rolling you. But again, if my arm was there, it would be easy.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So sorry about your thumb.
No
I'm
problem.
squeezing too much. Anyway, so also one thing that might encourage some shape is if I hook into you. So start up. Okay, so go. Better. Getting there.
Yeah. Because I need to feel everything so I can.
Yes. Get some movement.
Yeah.
So go all the way to the pad. Nice. Same again. Your left is
Now
better.
I can.
The shape's better than your right.
Yeah, I feel the power on my left. I always do.
So I don't know why, but you can get a lot of right-handed people who their left has better shape initially, and I think it's just because in the right they can do whatever they want.
My kickboxing experience might do that because we always, when we guard, the left hand is in front all the time. You punch from the right, but you guard it from your left.
That's what Eddie Hall said. The problem was when he was doing the half ball fight, because he'd torn his left arm. He would usually do that, but he couldn't for that match. So his whole ability, and then also that affected his punching ability, because he was used to being left field doing that, and then punching that way. And he just broke the world record for the world's hardest punch, by the way. so that's scary. But he almost broke his own hand doing it. But the point is that he was having to lead with his this arm. So not only almost like Lennox Lewis used to, but he literally didn't have the swing.
Yeah.
You know, and one thing you need if you're against a tall guy is swing. You know, so it's sort of. I thought that was very interesting. But yeah, I mean, if you can put any of your education in kickboxing into arm wrestling, that'd be great. Yeah, so go. Nice, it's looking better, and you're not dropping quite. Try and turn, get the turn going. Yeah. You're facing the wrong way.
Yeah.
See,
I need to turn this side.
Yeah, because if you face the other, look at what happens if you face the other way. Yeah. So now you go.
Yeah, it opens.
Yeah.
Easily. Yeah.
Yeah, very easy.
I need to pull towards me.
Yeah, you don't want to say you've been beaten by a cripple. You know. I'm not really. Like, nice, that's better. I like that. So even though everything's not quite there, at least you are facing it. So you're on control.
Yeah.
It's really good. Let's see if we can get some sort of high hook on you. So get that height, and you're going to aim to get as high onto here as possible, so you can go in and over my wrist. So you're trying to hold my hand and turn my own wrist. Not if you just press into it, it won't work. A high hook works to physically. You're physically manipulating your opponent. Yeah. So hold my hand, and you're going to move my hand in that direction. Yeah. Nasty. Yeah, you're going to do well with that. Go. Keep it on your side, because that's nice. Because again, you don't want it to be. You want to defend your side really jealously. You know, that's. You know, some guys don't care. I mean, you've got guys like Devon Loud and Tom Holland who he can defend into to the other guys. Give some angle. Yeah. But they're both like
tall guys.
Yeah. It's never going to be helpful for you. So so first thing off the start. So if you're gripping up here, so they'll square up your shoulder. It's funny that the refs are always trying to square you up. That's better for you. You know?
Of course.
Why anyone would want to start like this is beyond me, because it's not going to win you any matches. You know, unless you're some sort of. There's a couple of guys who are just unbelievable side pressure. But, so you go to the table, you got some height, and you're gonna basically be pulling me in this direction. Yeah. And by the way, there's a thing called back pressure. So back pressure is not a drag, and it's not just a post. It's both. So actually, if you imagine that whole unit being moved, and it allows me to then gain control of the other guys on your side. Yeah. And if I was up here, if I did this, then I got something to go come down on. And again, look, I can follow the whole thing down, or come almost over the top. And if I run out of room, I can literally just press down. All from being high over your hand. So that high word is really important. High hook means high, you know. So go up. So your hand, can you see this wrist is too low on my arm? So you want to get up. So as you supinate round, you pull me into your wrist. So you've got something to go over.
I see.
Yeah. So you want to be probably further over. Yeah. So you want to really gain. You go over my wrist. Yeah. So over, and then you're going to be pushing down and hooking down. Wow. Strong. Yes. Good. Same again. Nice. Again, try just be safe. Yeah. So good. Nice. Good thing about that was pretty good. As long as the guy doesn't hit way sideways. Yeah. And remember, if the other guy goes boom, and you're facing that way, it's very painful. Yeah. If you're facing this way, it's not a problem. Okay, so good.